England is a country of mixed farms, and where cattle and corn grow side by side, you need hedges to keep stock from straying from one field to another and to give them shade in summer and a windbreak in winter. But hedges need looking after. This one is too bulky and wastes a lot of the field space. This one is too tall and its shadow will ruin any crops growing near it. The taller it grows, the thinner it gets at the bottom, and then you get a result like this, where the hedge is useless for keeping stock out, and the farmer has to use a wire fence as well. One of the best ways of filling in gaps and making up a thin and straggly hedge is laying or plashing. For this job, the hedger needs a stout slasher for cutting out the briars and dead branches, a bill hook for making the actual cuts or pleaches, a pair of leather mittens when handling the thorn, and a good sharp axe for the heavy chopping. This is Dighton, a Northamptonshire hedger, who is well known in the district and does many of the local hedges. Today his assistant is a land girl who's learning the job. She works ahead on the first rough clearance, and Dighton follows on with his slasher, getting rid of the tangle of briar and dead sticks from the hedge. This will leave him with only the live wood, which is what he wants for the layers. Layering is a job for the autumn. The sap has ceased to rise, and besides, the bare branches let you see what you're doing. After clearing a short stretch, Dighton can begin on the actual layering. He uses his bill hook to make a clean cut in each stem near the ground, and then bends it down away from the cut. The cut must not go too deep into the stem. It must leave a good tongue of wood to carry the sap. With quite a small cut, most branches will bend down easily. To discourage cattle from eating the young shoots when they begin to grow, Dighton puts the thorny ends on the side away from the ditch, as that side will need more protection. After pleaching the branches, Dighton carefully trims off the lip of each cut and tidies up the stump from which the branches grow. Otherwise, moisture and rotting leaves would collect there and cause dieback, that is, destroy or weaken the new shoots. Meanwhile, his assistant is working ahead, clearing away the brambles. Here Dighton has reached a place in the hedge which was layered years ago, but as you can see, the pleaches were made far too high above the ground. As he continues, he has to remove any dead stumps that get in the way of his layers. This one is another relic of badly done layering. Now for the stakes and binders to hold firm the length of hedge he has layered. Dighton makes a point of binding each day's work as he goes along, in case anything happens to it overnight, so he always sees that he has a bundle of stakes and binders ready. Often he can get them from the hedge he's working on. Chestnut, cut about 5 feet long, makes good stakes. The binders are of hazel, elm or willow, about 7 or 8 feet long. First he puts a good point on the bottom end of the stakes. Then he threads them in and out through the layers 2 or 3 feet apart to keep the thorn firm in position. The binders go at the top, two at a time, woven in and out of the stakes, and twisted over each other to make a neat basket-like finish. Then the stakes are driven in good and firm. The final touch is to level them off at the top, and this is the neat way Dighton does it. By now his assistant has finished her clearing and is anxious to try a hand at the layering. As with any job, the main thing is to get to know the tools and to learn how to handle them properly and not cut right through the thorn. Then she has to know where to make the cut, not too high, but just above the ground level, so that the split runs right to the ground when the layer is bent over. Soon she'll be getting on quite nicely and be really useful in assisting Dighton in his job. Layering certainly makes a good hedge, and the finished job is a pleasure to look at. Next year, shoots will have grown up from the stumps and all along the layered branches, filling in the body of the hedge. This hedge will not need layering for another 15 or 20 years. But it should, however, be trimmed. Before the first trimming, the hedge should be allowed to grow for at least 2 years. A slasher is the best tool, used with strong upward cuts, as downward strokes would injure the plants where the cut is made. Hedges are always trying to grow into trees. Trimming them each year helps to keep them bushy and make them grow at the bottom. A triangular shape is best, sloping to a point at the top. It's easy to trim and stays stock-proof at the base for a long time. At the end of the job, the trimmings are collected into bonfires and make a good ash for the fields. If hedges are well layered and trimmed regularly, they'll last for years and do their job properly. Their neat appearance is something a farmer can be proud of.